In today's video, you are going to learn tips on how to walk further and faster. If you're new to this channel, I'm Tara. I'm a neurologic physical therapist, and on this channel, we talk about anything and everything related to mobility, health, fitness, and mindset, with the end goal of empowering you with as many tools as possible to take ownership of your rehab and your health, to live an overall more active, more mobile, pain-free, happier, healthier life. First, let's just talk about all the reasons why you might want to learn how to walk further and faster. The most important is walking is absolutely essential to being able to function as a human, but more than that, walking and getting outside and having a daily walking routine is so beneficial to maintaining both physical health and mental well-being as we age. But now, here are some of the common reasons that I hear why people don't use walking as their primary kind of fitness activity. One is because you have pain when you walk longer distances. Another one is that you don't feel confident that if you walked somewhere, you'd be able to get back. Maybe you're kind of getting back into a fitness routine, but you're not really like fit enough yet, so you're not really sure how far you can go. Some people just think it's boring, that going for long walks is just not fun at all. And for some of you, it's not fun because you don't feel balanced. And for others of you, it's the weather, it's the climate that you live in is why you can't walk longer distances. So we are going to go into ways to combat all of these common reasons that prevent some of you from walking. So let's just talk about the pain factor. So some of you have mentioned that it's because you have arthritic joints. I will tell you, and I talk about this quite a bit on this channel, but I'll be probably talking about it more in the next few videos coming up here. Arthritis is not always associated with pain. So what do I mean by that? There's a lot of people that have severe arthritis to the point where I can hear their joints. I can hear their bones rubbing on each other when they come into the clinic, and they have zero pain. So why is it that some people have pain and some people don't? There's a variety of reasons. Some of the factors that you probably can't control is there's probably a genetic component. Some people are just predisposed maybe to having some more arthritic changes or degeneration in the joints or on that hyaline cartilage, which is kind of like the end caps of the long bones, starts to break down a little bit more. But one thing that the research is showing more recently, because they're looking into it, is that there are inflammatory mediators. And what those basically are, is they're just little chemicals that they look for in the blood and in the fluid that's in the joints. And there are some components in the fluid that will indicate that there might be more inflammation. So what does that mean? Is that the thing that you can control probably is that inflammation. So how do you control inflammation? I've done an entire video on chronic inflammation. I will link that video in the description below, so you can kind of learn what that is and some of the things that that are in your control that you can do to maybe decrease your susceptibility to chronic inflammation. But the one that I will mention, probably the two primary ones, is drinking enough water. A lot of people aren't drinking enough water, and eliminating or minimizing ultra-processed foods as much as possible. Ultra-processed foods are anything that has a shelf life on it or has 5 or more ingredients. So the kind of rule of thumb is anything on the inside of the grocery store is probably a processed food, and anything that needs to be refrigerated on the outside of the grocery store most likely is closer to a whole food. So no one is perfect at this. Everyone has a life. People go out to eat at restaurants, but my rule of thumb is if you can do it 80% of the time, meaning you can eat real whole foods and make that 80% of your diet, you might be surprised as to how much that might influence the pain that you're having associated with arthritis. So there's the pain component, and maybe one way to address that. The other thing that I would suggest is stretching before you walk. So some people just try and go out and just start walking, and it's painful and it's uncomfortable. A lot of times that's just because as we age, we get a little bit stiffer. And so having a good stretching routine that you can do before you go out for your walks, super valuable. And stick around because I'm going to go through some of those stretches here in this video. Okay, and then I also mentioned that some people mention that they're just afraid of falling, that their balance isn't great. The best way that I can think of to combat that is to use hiking sticks. It's a great workout. It will make you feel more confident, and most likely you'll be able to walk a little bit of a longer distance. And on top of that, if your pain is associated like kind of like low back pain, it might even really help with that, or even arthritic pain. Definitely having something that can kind of take some of that weight or load off of your legs, super valuable. But again, it also addresses that factor for those of you that feel like you just don't have great balance. So it makes walking just kind of not a fun activity. That would be my recommendation. Use walking sticks. Now, for those of you that feel like you're just not confident that you could walk a long distance, my suggestion is loops. I love, love, love loops. I'm a looper myself. I run, but I would do a loop course any day before I would do an out and back course, just the way my mind works. So if you are someone that when you go out and back, you think, oh my gosh, that's so far away, loops really work. So just find a neighborhood or 3 neighborhoods and just do those 3 neighborhoods a few times. Or if you live in like a little community and you just live on like a little loop, just do your little loop and then rest in between loops, or that gives you the option to rest in between loops. And so you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I got to go this super long distance. So changing your course is absolutely, absolutely beneficial. The other thing I like, and this is for those of you that it's because of the climate or because you're worried you're not going to be able to walk the distance, is mall walking. Most malls open before regular business hours for the purpose of allowing people to walk. So find a shopping mall. The other place that you can do this early in the morning, if you have a 24-hour Walmart, they are great. It's basically like a track. So if you go at a time of day when it's not really busy, you basically have like a huge walking track around the outside. The other place that you can do that is like Lowe's or Home Depot. If you go early enough in the morning, there's not a lot of shoppers around. Like you have a lot of like the construction people around, but you've got these huge aisles and you can just kind of weave up and down the aisles. You don't have to worry about maybe getting stranded somewhere because you get tired. Absolutely, absolutely love those big box stores for walking. And if you find it during a if you can get there during a non-busy time of day, they're pretty much empty. And now let's address the boredom component. So my suggestion is find a friend, find a support system, or maybe create a group where you all meet once or twice a week and you walk with a group. It's great for conversation, it's great for socializing, which is great for our mental well-being, but also it might help with that boredom factor. Other things that I enjoy, because I do quite a bit of walking, is I love listening to podcasts, I love listening to audiobooks. Sometimes I really just want to think, and so sometimes maybe you don't think about thinking, and actually that can be an activity in and of itself. So just find ways that you can make that walk stimulating, again, because walking is easy, it's free, there's no really required equipment. So great activity, love it, do it with a group, make it more enjoyable. But now let's go ahead and get into a little stretching routine that I think will really, really help. For those of you that might feel like walking is just too painful, could just be that your body is stiff. Okay, so before we end this video, let's go into a little stretching routine that you can do before you go out for those walks. All right, so some people might disagree with this. Depends on who you talk to. I always think that it's a great idea to start sitting. So I see a lot of people at the gym and in other places kind of just standing, and that is good. But I think initially, the more those muscles are going to be able to relax and really get some of those elastic components nice and loose. So I always recommend you start sitting if at all possible. We're going to stretch those hamstrings out, really targeting your legs, kind of get that trunk loosened up, rotate side to side. All right, and then turn that chair sideways, or what I call it kind of side sitting on the chair. And you want to kind of bring one leg back, and you're just going to reach up and back. towards the back of the chair. Kind of show that to you from the front. So we're stretching the front of that leg. All right, so you're going to go up and back and over and back and then across this way and back. So you're getting trunk rotation towards the knee of the leg that's in front. You're going to go straight back. Then you're going to come over. And then do that same thing on the other side. The other leg back. Come straight back. And over. And then across. And just kind of go through that about 3 times. Straight back. And over. And across. All right, and then we're going to go through one nice low back stretch. Stretch way out and then down towards the ground. And just really let that back stretch out. Now, if you have a history of a back injury or any type of a back surgery or hip surgery, do not start any new stretching program without first talking to your doctor. Very, very important. All right, reach down. Back up. And then a kind of like a chest opener. So you're going to reach your arms back. Especially for those of you that sit at a computer all day and your head is kind of forward, really opening that chest up. All right, and then you're going to turn around, come onto the chair this way. And now we're going to stretch your calves. So bring one foot back, knee straight. We're stretching the back of the lower leg and the leg that's behind. Do it with your legs straight and with your knee bent. And you're going to stretch, knee straight and knee bent. All right. Next, you're just going to hold on to something. Grab your foot if you can and really stretch out the front of that thigh. And then same thing on the other side. You can kind of bend down, grab that heel. And pull that heel towards your bottom. And then one last stretch. You're just going to kind of do like a straddle stretch. So kind of get your legs out as far as you can. And then just some of you are going to be able to put your hands down on the floor, but if you can't, just use a stool or a chair, something in front of you. You want to feel that down the inside of your thighs. And then you can just kind of lean forward. If you're not feeling a great stretch with that, you can bend one knee. And then you'll feel that more on the leg that's straight. Same thing on the other side, bend that knee. And again, you'll feel that down the inside of this leg over here. And then that is it for this video. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Hopefully this video gave you enough tips that if you're not in the habit of walking, it'll motivate you to get in the habit of walking. Or if you have tried in the past and you just found that one of those issues we discussed earlier was holding you back, hopefully now you have some tips to overcome that barrier. If you enjoyed this video and you like this kind of a video and you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so that you'll get notified every time I upload new videos. I enjoyed spending time with y'all today, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day.